Welcome to the Oxen Group Nightly. My name is David Ristow. I'm the president, CEO, and founder of the Oxen Group. The Oxen Group is a financial analysis and investment ideas website, and you can check us out at www.theoxengroup.com. Tonight on the Oxen Group Nightly, we'll be discussing Thursday's market wrap-up. We'll be looking at our position in China Sunergy, our position and developments in First Solar, looking at some of our other positions as well as our 3% gain on DKS today. We're taking a look at our long-term rating on Jack in the Box and also forecasting tomorrow's market. So it was a great day on the market, and there's really no other way to put it than it was just pretty much awesome. The market moved higher on the day as stocks rallied around some economic data that was very good from the ISM, and as well as the big one was the initial jobless claims that have sort of set the stage for a nice unemployment report coming out tomorrow from the Department of Labor. Also helpful was that there was an announcement that there were some peace talks that were going to start in Libya. Some of the violence is de-escalating, and rebels were able to maintain control of an important oil port that Gaddafi was going after, and that sort of helped ease oil prices, which then in turn helped kind of fuel an equity rally throughout the entire day. That was spurred on by the report that came out about initial jobs claims. But the big news is that tomorrow we'll be having the Department of Labor's economic report on the number of non-farm payrolls as well as the unemployment rate. And those two key factors will really influence how the market will probably trade for tomorrow, and will definitely probably set up for next week's trading. But let's take a little bit more look at unemployment. Unemployment, that's so 2010. Um, Initial jobless claims fell to their lowest level since May of 2008. Today, reaching 368,000, and that's a really drastically lower number than was expected, which was at 400,000. Private jobs were also very good on Wednesday, as we had the ADP report coming out saying there were 217,000 jobs added in the private sector in January, and then also tomorrow. Then we have it all leading up to the unemployment rate as well as non-farm payrolls. So basically government jobs. Those are supposed to come in at 185,000 for the non-farm payrolls, and unemployment rate is supposed to come in at 9.1%. Now, the whisper number out there is kind of like 200,000 for the non-farm payrolls, while unemployment rates whisper number is, to me, that consensus of 9.1. So I think we need to beat 200,000 in order for this report to be very positive, and unemployment rate needs to either meet or be below 9.1 to continue a rally, which we'll discuss a little bit more later. Usually during this segment of the Oxen Group Nightly, we'll take this and we'll sort of break out the market throughout the day and show you, the changes, what happened. Really, all I can say today is nice. The market opened up great, and it went up the entire day. I mean, there was really no other way to put it. You had some little tiny peaks and valleys throughout the day, but really, it was just a very nice, clean day. Market opened higher, moved higher. Everything that came out today was pretty much bullish. A lot of buying opportunities were out there, with a lot of stocks undervalued. A lot of stocks moved up throughout the day. We were able to fortunately position ourselves well, we thought, in a couple positions today, as well as a couple positions that we were positioned into going into today did very well. One of the positions that we were able to recommend today to our members was China Sunergy, CSUN. We entered this today at 443. With the stock was very depressed despite an overall market rise at halfway through the day, and we like this company because there's a number of catalysts working in their favor. We're going to talk a little bit about the solar issue that happened with that kind of depressed solar stocks overall in association with our first solar position that I'm going to discuss after this one. But for China Energy, just so you know, like, the stock was undervalued, and then they basically have earnings coming up on Monday, and they're really, them and Suntech Power are basically the last two solar companies to report earnings in this earnings season. And if you've been following earnings at all in solar companies, they've been outstanding. Almost every single company except for maybe two I can think of have beat expectations, raised guidance, said that they think that 2011 is still going to be a very strong year despite slowdowns in Italy and Germany. They're seeing good rise in market from America, from China, from India starting to get into it. Malaysia is a nice market. So there's a lot of markets that are opening up to the solar energy, and China Sunergy is not only are they expected to have good earnings, but they're actually moving from a negative report 1 year ago, where they reported negative earnings, to mid 0.30. And this is a company that's really turned it around. Over the last 3 quarters, they've beat expectations by an average of over 75%. So, big expectations should be expected for this company moving into earnings. And with them coming on Monday evening, we're expecting a really big day on Friday and on Monday. And we were able to get the stock at such a nice price here at 443 that we're thinking that there has a lot of upside. The stock actually ended the day at 452, so we're already up 2% on the stock, and we think the upside is pretty significant given just its company specific factor. You see it's got a great support line here on the 50-day moving average, and then it's got resistance here at 454 that it couldn't break on the exponential moving average. But as you can see, the K and the D lines bounce right down near the bottom there. See, they crossed today. That means it's moving up, going to move up from here. The RSI is below 50. The stock's setting up really nice to break out from this resistance here, and we think it might move up to at least the 460 to 465 range over the next couple days. But the reason that China Sunergy maybe and a lot of other solar companies didn't follow the general market trend is because of solar today. Solar stocks, that's one of our main focuses here at the Oxen Group. We like to trade solar. We've got lots of long-term investments in solar, so we're very bullish on solar. And today we got news out of Italy that basically the news is unsure really, and solar stocks are kind of looking for direction all day. The news was basically that Italy was looking to cap basically the amount of megawatts that come into the country for solar energy, and that cap was either never really a cap, or as a lot of reports say, that cap was basically it's null at this point in time, and so they're not really looking to cap solar stocks at all. And so really this should have been a very big catalyst for solar, because that means that the incentives that they're giving out to new companies and to new projects are basically not going to end, at least for the foreseeable next few months. And so this is a really good story, but basically the story kind of hasn't really developed all the way, and a lot of analysts are sort of unsure of what this actually means, because it means maybe that in June they're going to put this cap back on the solar energy, or it means that the cap never really even existed in the first place. And so there's just all kinds of news, and sort of it's kind of a murky situation right now. And so no one really was buying or selling these stocks all day, because no one's really sure what's happening. So as that news story starts to unfold, I think the solar stocks are really going to have to end up playing catch up to the rest of the market. For solar, we're in half a position at 140, or at a recommended position of 147, and you can see that the stock is just at the rock bottom. I mean, RSI is below 40 at this point. The stochastics are just at rock bottom. The stock is basically trying to keep on pace with its moving average. It's at the lower Bollinger Band. And I mean, I think this is a very nice floor for the stock right here at the 145 level. And as long as the Italy developments, I mean, what we read, we think it's a very bullish case, because basically it appears that Italy is not going to cap any incentives, and it's going to continue to offer incentives, which means there's going to be demand, more demand than probably was expected. And so that means the guidance that a lot of companies gave out, for example, for solar, is probably going to be underestimating what they might be able to get in the next few months from Italy. So it's a bullish story, and we think that that is another catalyst for solar energy that also will be playing into CSUN, combined with just their company specific news. Other than that, we also were able to make 3.1% on Dick's Sporting Goods this morning, with DKS as the ticker there. We got in yesterday. Moving into earnings, we believe that this company had a lot of potential, with a very good earnings season probably coming for the sporting goods sector. And then retail sales came out very bullish this morning, and Dick's Sporting Goods just took off with the general market rally. We also were in Apple. We had a half position left in Apple, and we were able to average out with another 2% gain today, to average out for 1.5% gain overall. It was a nice quick scalp there. And then our Infinera position, which we have an average entry, I think about 847 as our average recommended entry. it actually trailed. It got all the way up to about like 825, I think, today. So we were down about 3% at one point, and that's really good because we've been holding this stock for a long time, and we were down about 25% at one point on it. But we, like this company a lot and think it had potential, and did not want to take that loss. And it's good to see it's almost back to where we bought it. Today we had a long-term rating. We also announced in Jack in the Box, so it's actually a long-term ratings update. We reiterated a hold rating on the company and reiterated our price target at $23. Jack in the Box is a kind of a fast food style company. They also own the Mexican line of casual dining restaurants Cordoba, and the company's really suffered during the recession and right before the recession. They have seen declining revenues since 2007, declining growth, declining earnings. And for the first time, the company actually showed some positive light in quarter one of their fiscal year 2011. And they've done a lot of positive restructuring of their company by trying to enfranchise 75% of the company by 2013, acquiring Cordoba Mexican Casual Dining, which has seen great growth and is the biggest rival to Chipotle. And then they also refreshed their menu and their image. And the problem though is they have a heavy amount of debt. They're having trouble growing, and they're still not seeing a lot of growth in same-store sales. So until they can sort of unload some of this debt, and they can see some better growth rates, we don't expect that the stock is going to rise. Even though I do like what they have done as far as a restructuring plan, it still has not been enough to cause the company to see much in the way of organic growth. And so until we see some of that organic growth come back into the company with people willing to just buy more fast food and spend more discretionary money, this company is going to maintain at this level, and we see for probably about the next 12 months that this won't be much of a buy. Well, for tomorrow, we talked about this a little bit already today, but definitely we saw some pricing in on the good news on the employment situation, and I just think we are definitely going to be at risk if these numbers do come in a little bit under what expectations are, or even a little bit under what maybe the whisper numbers were out there. That the disappointment would probably be a major hit. At the same time, though, a beat I do think will probably be kind of muted a little bit. It's going to be a moot point. There's just the market has really priced in a really nice gain. I mean, the Libya situation cooled off, so that's really going to be, I think, kind of done for now. And there's no major earnings on the slate for tomorrow, and it's really all just comes down to jobs. So that report's really going to set us up for the rest of the day. I think if we have a good report, I do think that the market's going to increase in tomorrow, and I do think it will set up for another really nice week next week. There's a lot of buying opportunities out there. There's a lot of stocks that are still undervalued, even with today's gains. And I think people are going to get back into the mode where we don't want to miss the rally, right? But that has to start with some good earnings tomorrow. Good economic data tomorrow. Well, that's all for today. Visit us at www.theoxengroup.com. Email us at contact@theoxengroup.com. Call us anytime at 1-800-709-1160. Please be a part of 70% plus accuracy.